Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto markets. That includes the majors like Bitcoin. Anything else? Anything else still alive? Maybe Ethereum, maybe Solana.
They're all miners now.
And of course, NFTs. They're back into high school. It is now statutory rape if you purchase Ethereum, Solana, Hype, or any of these other tokens right now. Today, we're going to discuss overnight crypto market meltdown as trade wars fire back up. We're going to talk about Tom Lee saying the end is near or the DAT bubble's already burst. What is going on? And we're going to talk about how we're navigating this chaotic and choppy market. I'm joined by two level heads here in Easy and Kicks. We're going to break it all down for you. But first, we wanted to give a big shout out to everyone in the audience. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here on such a bloody day. Hopefully we can cheer you up a bit. Give us a comment, give us a like, give us a bookmark. If you're feeling generous, give us a retweet. Push us out there in the algorithm. If you're on YouTube, let us know how down bad you are. How down bad is your spot portfolio? Are you trading perps here? What are you doing amidst all of this mess? Good morning, Easy. Good morning, Kicks. Kicks, how you feeling today?
Feeling all right, man. All things considered, but definitely down. Portfolio down. Spot getting hit. About 20% away from round tripping my hype bag. That's always fun. But making some good money on the perp side on short, so at least that's stemming out some of my bleeding. Maybe 30% of my bleeding. So that feels good, and I'm just going to use that to just become the best perp trader of all time. But overall, I'm not feeling like I'm not feeling not panic, but I'm not feeling concerned like I did in May of 2022, right? Where we had just, nonstop terrible news in crypto, like, FTX blowing up, Luna blowing up, all of these kinds of things, into rising interest rates. We're in a pullback here in a situation that, overall I feel good about. There may be some more pain ahead, but if anything, that just means I can put some of that cash to work. So, pullbacks create opportunities.
Yeah, I'm pretty jealous. I mean, you actually called a number of nice shorts, and you've been sharing them in the Bodogas Discord, both in the Whales chat and the general chat. I think at times like this, just being able to capitalize on those market movements makes sense. I mean, yeah, spots down across the board, but being able to build your perps portfolio while you still have faith in spot, like if you don't think the cycle's over, like you're holding spot bags because you have belief. So I feel like having that ability to short successfully is pretty clutch right now. So I feel like I'm in your shoes.
Yeah. And, I also try to appreciate that, crypto Twitter and just people in general, with how tapped we are into the internet and fast moving things, that it's easy for humans to over index short-term things, right? And under index long-term things. So everybody's, panicking that gold is outperforming Bitcoin right now, when I think that's a 2-week long, people are over indexing a 2-week long period and not appreciating a really long period. Let me put something into perspective. I'm not a young guy anymore. Some people would call me middle age. Some people could call me middle age. If you bought gold when I was born, you're up 10x. If you bought Bitcoin 5 years ago, you're up 10x. Point being that there's a lot of people that are up insane on Bitcoin, right? And the equivalent, that if you bought Bitcoin in 2012, that's like buying gold in fucking 1632, probably. You know what I mean? Just meaning that there's not a single person alive today that bought gold that has as good of a return if you bought Bitcoin 10 years ago. Meaning that there's a lot of...
That's like you paid 60 cents for a mining pick and went to California and dug up a nugget of gold.
Exactly. So meaning there's a lot of people that are up a lot on Bitcoin, right? The average cost on Bitcoin is way different than the average cost on gold, meaning that you're going to have more volatility, right? People taking profits. But I think if you smooth out gold versus Bitcoin, on multi-year horizons. 5 years from now, I don't think we're going to be saying, man, I wish I, switched all my Bitcoin into gold. I don't think we'll be saying that 5 years from now. So despite it, being shitty in the short term, when I zoom out, I feel okay.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same mind frame. I don't think that we've topped for the cycle for crypto. I think that all the tailwinds are still in place. I think that there is this like big fear here on trade wars, and we saw this play out, and like we saw the game plan like absolutely show itself last spring, like with the trade wars. Like the play was to not panic and bid the dip, essentially. So if you're in the same mindset that you don't believe that crypto is dead and topped for the cycle, I feel like you shouldn't be panicking. I feel like you should look at your bags and say like, okay, what do I still have conviction in? Hold those. And if there's anything that like, hey, maybe this is a little bit sketchy, maybe this is more of a short-term thesis, like those could get blown out. And
yeah,
who knows if they're going to come back.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's all positioning, and it's all based on your risk appetite and what you're trying to do with your portfolio, right? Like if you're weighted heavily Bitcoin and ETH, you're down, you know what I mean? But you're not like devastated. If you were weighted 80% alts, that's going to hurt a lot more. But I mean, that's the risk reward profile in those things, right? So yeah, my bags are down, but I'm not devastated. And there's plenty of people in fucking worse situations out there that, got 100% liquidated on perps. The short-term concerns, like, you talked about the DAT bubble has allegedly popped. I mean, what's MSTR at? I think I said on last week's show that, if you wanted to hedge out crypto, you could short MSTR. I just think one of the challenges is that these guys were the net, biggest buyers of crypto, and now they're not, or of Bitcoin rather, and they're not buying Bitcoin at all anymore. And when you pair that up with, whales selling that are up ungodly amounts of money, it's not crazy that we're having, this pullback. But hey, if you liked Bitcoin at 120K, you're going to love it sub 100K if you can add some to your bags, right?
Yeah, no, 100% agree. It's just tough, like, because I'm not rotating spot into Bitcoin. Like I have my Bitcoin holdings already. I feel like I'm only rotating spot into alts on dips for me.
Yeah.
I want to look at something. I can't. I just don't have the bandwidth to do it like during the show. But I'm gonna look at like strategies buys and look at like where we recovered on Bitcoin, because I mean there's something setting up to like where they haven't been buying and like they've been stockpiling cash, and we get to end of October, we have rate cuts, we have trade war potential resolution coming up to that deadline, and then maybe MicroStrategy is then buying again Bitcoin at new lows, like around 100, like local lows around 100, sub 100K Bitcoin, and like I just see the potential for some sort of supercharge on crypto in that scenario. So I think there's plenty of narratives, and like you said, like right now the short-term narrative is very bearish. It's like panic worldwide. You see these pictures of people lining up to buy gold, and everyone is just like, the sky is falling. All of our risk on bags are going to shit, and the trade wars are back in full force. But these things pass. They don't last long periods of time. So patience, I think, is probably number one. And if you're somebody,
we're in a bear market, it's all going to keep going down. It's never going to bounce. Flight to safety, aka physical gold.
ammo,
Pivot to
seeds.
Grammy Award shows.
Pivot to prediction markets.
Yeah, I mean, prediction markets.
Is Taylor Swift pregnant at 8%?
I'm down 30% on that.
Is that at 8%?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like that at 8%.
I'll tell you what, they tricked a lot of people with that scam wick. They even got me there.
The Satoshi one's the interesting, most recent scam wick.
Well, the thing that I think people are going to do now, I talked about this on the show previously. Like I asked you, I was like, oh, do you like pay attention to these like people who come into these markets and then that's their only trade and they put a trade in with size? Like you can slowly accumulate positions and then just do that on a number of big wallets and fake people out.
Oh, for sure.
Like you find one narrative, like Easy was talking about the Gemini. He's like, someone's like, oh, look at this. It's interesting. Like there's going to be this announcement for Google coming up in 2 weeks about Gemini. Like here's what we can do. We can use that as the talking point and then fire up all these accounts that are like quote unquote insiders and then like try to trick people into bidding it up and then selling the bag. So like I can see that
100%.
happening a lot on prediction markets.
Or if you have an account that has a big P&L, you can spin up a new account and use that high P&L account to get you exit liquidity. It's the same thing with like the meme coin copy trading stuff. It's an edge that eventually gets exploited and eliminated, but it's still an interesting indicator. You know, I'd call it an indicator, right? I don't think it's something that 100% you're always going in, but I think Easy sometimes uses it as like a supporting element to a thesis, which I think can work.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to give a big shout out over to our friends over at Yeet. We're going to do some Yeet giveaways today. Bodalgos.com/Yeet to sign up and be eligible. I'm going to be looking at our leaderboards. Also, you're going to need to comment your Yeet username in Twitter or YouTube. So I'll be checking our Yeet leaderboards, confirming that you are indeed signed up with us. We did a ton of volume this month. I think we're over like approaching $1.5 million worth of volume after that Bodalgos competition against Tyler D that will not be mentioned again. If you're on this list, you're eligible. You can comment your username in YouTube, comment it on the Twitter Spaces as well. We're going to do 2 spins for $250 a pop at the end of the show. And just so you're aware, we will continue to be doing our Bodalgos Yeet's Got Talent promotion. I'm saving all of those entries. Be sure to tag me, RCIV NFT, in the post or actually do it in the replies. You'll get better reach that way. Tag me in the replies for your Yeet clips. So we have $4,000 that we're going to be giving away to the top 3 clipped videos featuring Yeet. So check out Yeet, bodalgos.com/Yeet. Drop your usernames in the chat. We're going to be spinning at the end of the show. That being said, lots to talk about today. Kicks, how about we take it away with a little weather report action?
Sure, you got it. Let's rip it. What day is today? Today is Friday, October 17th. The majors have cratered. Bitcoin just hanging above 105K. ETH under 3,800. Solana at 180. Hype down to $35. It was a bloodbath as over $1.2 billion is liquidated from leveraged traders as the crypto total market cap falls to levels not seen since July. This crash comes as crypto and equities fear and greed indexes have both dropped into the fear range. Next up, gold continued its surge and is now up over 60% on the year and became the first asset ever to surpass a $30 trillion market cap. Also, tokenized gold wicked up to $4,800 on Binance yesterday, blowing out shorts across a number of perps. Finally, is the end coming for crypto treasuries? Bitmine's Tom Lee says in a podcast that he believes that the DAT bubble may have already burst. BMNR is down over 60% from its highs in July. That's it for the weather report. Back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, Kicks. What do you make of this Tom Lee story? I didn't listen to the actual quote, so like I'm concerned they may have been taking it out of context. I think we've been uninterested in DATs for a while.
Yeah.
Haven't really seen any like price action like pumping from them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny, like right now we're back to like lows that we've seen when this narrative kind of kicked off.
Yeah.
So like Bitcoin is back at like the levels that we've seen in like the total crypto market cap is back to where we were in like July, which is when like Tom Lee burst on the scene and said like, hey, we're buying ETH. So did we just come down to earth kind of from that push and now we're just kind of where we should be, fair value? Or I don't know like how to frame this in like thoughts of like crypto price versus treasury acquisition.
Yeah, I mean, I personally have always felt that DATs are like the SPACs that happened in 2021 in stocks. Like that's our equivalent. they just fundamentally made no sense to me whatsoever, right? Because it's like, if you want to own Bitcoin or Ethereum, you can just buy Bitcoin or Ethereum. And why buy a stock of a company that then buys the Bitcoin with you and then dilutes your stock holdings so that they can buy more Bitcoin? MSTR was like the original gangsta to do this. Their price is still not doing great, but like at least you can say that they were doing it early and before it was cool. And Michael Saylor, created a lot of wealth for his shareholders through it. But yeah, like when we started having new DAT spinning up every other day, and a lot of these things, once again, you don't even know if it's just like a pure exit scam on a new DAT, right? Because you get a bunch of people to buy equity in the company, and then they just sell their crypto, right? You're a crypto whale. You create a DAT, and you just sell your crypto to the DAT, and then you get to just sell all your, sell your fucking stock and still own the underlying. Sell some of your stock and still own the underlying. Like it, you get to make double the money. Cool. I sold my crypto to the DAT, huge cash cow. Now I own a bunch of stock in the DAT, and I can just fucking dump that. Nice financial wizardry there. But yeah, I don't think like DATs blowing up, especially the small ones, is like any sort of systemic risk for crypto. It'll just potentially add a little fuel to the sell pressure temporarily.
It pulled up MicroStrategy's buys. I wanted to compare them what happened at the dip back in February. I mean, they still were buying billions in February and March, end of March, when we had the dip. And like you said, like we haven't had a buy over 500,000 for over 2 months now.
Yeah, very long time. I mean, that's just because their MNAV got compressed, right? So the challenge is that, even if it dips, how much can they accumulate if MSTR is also dipping and compressing their MNAV? Michael Saylor can come out and just keep buying. He just has to throw away the playbook that he said he was going to follow a month or two ago. And, that's probably not the greatest look on a short-term horizon, but maybe it works out on a longer term horizon for him. But yeah, I mean, it's a real thing. I had ChatGPT chart out it's the buys this year. I'll show you the chart, but I mean it's basically once they stopped buying any sort of size, Bitcoin stopped pumping. Also, they bought last week. Somehow they bought at an average price of $123,000, dude. They just top blast, dude. They top blast so hard. It's legendary.
I'm gonna check out this chart I just saw in the private chat. The one I have up now is just the MNAV over time. This time last year we were at an MNAV of 2.7, and now we are all the way down at 1.2, which I don't even know when the last time we've seen that kind of MNAV is.
Yeah, I mean, and if you see when like the MNAV really started compressing is when they stopped buying.
Yeah, well, they made a big push in November. Like they bought a ton of it in November. Looking back here, or I guess is yours?
No, mine's just 2025.
Okay, yeah. So November,
they bought a ton. It was such a big wick on the chart that it like dwarfed everything else in size. What they bought right there. Yeah, they bought an absolute metric shit ton. But what's wild is like what's their average cost and all of that? 85 grand. So they're up like 22% on those buys.
It's 74K here.
Yeah, average cost 74 is not phenomenal, but I mean on a long-term horizon, once again, it can end up being masterful. So I'm not like a Saylor hater. I just think that his engine is slowing down right now. His engine and his ability to buy more Bitcoin is slowing down. In short term, that's going to make it harder for Bitcoin to go up. But I think on a long-term horizon, it's all going to be fine. But yeah, you can see like July of this year was like the last like hoorah. And then after that, the purchases more than halved you know, and October is probably going to come in really low.
Yeah. Yep. Not great. Not great. Jarvis, overlay the Bitcoin price chart on this MicroStrategy.
Other than the scam pump we had 2 weeks ago, it's like, you know, as soon as he stopped buying, Bitcoin started ranging, you know, and in ETH made runs and alts made some runs from August until today.
Easy. You've been hanging out. You've been listening. What are your thoughts with the current market turbulence? What's your general thought on the crypto market? I would love to hear.
Well, wait, the price is down.
Where do you think we are, like cycle wise? Do you have any thoughts, like any bigger thoughts? I'm like really want to like tap into what you're feeling here. What
I don't know, dude. I look at it and I'm just kind of like, if you're trading leverage, trade small, low leverage. It's a news-based market right now where you're basically going back and forth on tariff situations. So I'd rather not be trading this as aggressively. I think there's opportunity to start DCA here. Yeah, the market's put me to sleep. You can take a look. VIX is down bad. Gold is up big. The dollar's kind of in the shitter. Yeah, the VIX is the most interesting thing in the volatility index, which surged on the liquidation cascade we had that Friday. Now it's falling off a cliff. I think once we dip back under around 20 on that, we'll find the bottom here and probably rally. ETH 3,500, 3,400 would be nice. Bitcoin probably tap 100K. Sol right around the bottom here when I look at it. Hyperliquid down to 30 again. Aster, I'm down astronomically. Thanks, CZ, you fucking cuck. Chainlink is really interesting to me here because I like Chainlink. It's actually held up better than most of these others. So I don't know. I'm still like looking at stuff, but I'm just kind of finding some entries. I still think Athena is a great buy if you open up that chart. That chart looks significantly stronger than most other coins here, which I think is usually a very good sign. They have great buybacks, stablecoin revenue generating protocol. That one feels good to me. So I'm kind of just like taking a couple smaller spot buys to add into some bags I have. But I'm not doing too much that's too crazy. Like that's the thing. I'm just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, I think that's a fair take. So you give it a lot of price targets, and you talked about like some levels. Do you think we break higher again this cycle?
Yeah, I do. Bitcoin 145, 150K target. Sol 400, 450 is my like ideal target. ETH 6K. Yeah, I mean, even if I like Wolfie's comment. If the market stops going up here, we will all be so fucking sad. Inevitably, the market will always go higher over a long enough time frame. Like that's just the game we're gonna play. I don't think ETH will ever be dead. I don't think Sol will ever be dead. I don't think Bitcoin will ever be dead. But it's one of those things now where it's like it's always what.
Have we hit the bottom when the audience is asking Clemente to start dancing to save our bags?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I think we're close. Everyone on the timeline's a bear. Like, everyone on the timeline's a bear. It's just the reality. People are selling everything for gold, which truthfully, that makes me more nervous about the U.S. economy. Like, when the whole world nuking everything for gold, it's usually a pretty bad sign for the dollar.
The U.S. Treasury is now below 4% 10-year on the 10-year yield for the first time in a year. Interest rates are coming down. Is it?
And they will continue to come down.
Is it just front running interest rates dropping? This makes me nervous about like DeFi because a lot of DeFi is like dependent on Treasury yield to get these high yields that they're offering. So this is going to be interesting to watch. And I feel like these companies and people are used to these yield numbers in crypto, and that's what keeps markets or users coming in. Like, are they going to have to take more risky strategies to offer the same amount of yield that they've been offering? And is that going to like introduce more systemic risk? So something I'm monitoring as well on the like DeFi and stablecoin side is the 10-year US Treasury and seeing how this is going to play with rate cuts.
Isn't it ironic that when you could get the most yield in USDC is when everything pumped to the fucking moon? And then now where you're like, hey, I'd like to have a little bit more stablecoin exposure, the yields are just dropping off a cliff. It's ironic, dude.
It is. It's really funny how that works. One thing that it makes me think of is like we talked about StreamX before. They're actually we're partnering with them to like help them with distribution. Gold-backed stablecoins or alternative-backed stablecoins are interesting to me here and could catch a little bit of a bid. I think the pre-sale for StreamX is coming up in November. We talked about that a week or two back on the show. So I'll be looking at some of these alternative stablecoin plays. I was talking to Kix before the show about
fun fact. One of the first buys I ever made on chain was a synthetic gold-backed stablecoin. And it was actually was rug. I lost $5,000 in 8 days.
Yeah,
$5,000 was a lot of money to me back then.
Yeah, I had some really bad losses.
And this is why gold's a scam.
College tuition, man. You gotta pay your college tuition on chain. You gotta get rugged a few times to harden.
We talked about this pre-show. I want more people to hear about it during the show, though. We talked about like, hey, if we're selling assets, like consolidating assets into cash, or do you consolidate into Bitcoin? And I mentioned like, yeah, well, maybe it's consolidate your bags you don't believe in into stable coins, and then you just farm yield and sit around. Because Kix was like, I don't want to go into cash necessarily and hemorrhage away on a bleeding dollar. But then Kix, you were kind of like talking about like kind of risks of doing the DeFi, and I think that's really important to kind of talk about as well.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we saw some shakiness in the regional banks. And if we all remember back in 2023, I want to say February or March, we had those San Francisco tech banks collapse. And some of them, I think like Circle was using or whatever. But long story short, we had a stablecoin DPEG, and then we had crypto pump to the moon, which was wild, right? It was this weird situation where it's like, oh, if everybody's on chain and stable coins are becoming risky, everybody's got to swap in and buy crypto, right? And it pumped crypto, which I think back in the day was a great stress test in terms of like crypto being a relative flight to safety when there's financial or banking issues. But the point being is that those are the situations where if you're doing higher risk stablecoin farming, you can get wiped out, right? If you're kind of looping stablecoin farming to enhance your yield, and then you start getting DPEGs on the stablecoins, that's where you can get liquidated on that stuff. So that's why I generally always avoid the riskier stablecoin farming. I'd rather just, sit it in Coinbase or Robinhood and earn that boring 4%. But yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of what we're seeing right now with the gold run, it's twofold. It's one, normie retail, like buying bars at the store. But let's be real, I don't think that's a high percentage of why the price is going up. It's mostly going up because you have people like Russia and China buying a shit ton of gold. And that's due to the sanctions that we did on the US dollar in 2022 at the start of the Ukraine-Russian war. Why would any person not in the Western hemisphere want to hold US dollars? They'd rather hold gold that the government can't freeze, the US government can't freeze. But anyways, I think part of what we're seeing is people taking profits, but they don't want to take profits into dollars, right? They want to take profit into gold. And I think like long-term, that's a bullish thing for Bitcoin, meaning that like when people are taking profits on things, they don't want to just sit in the dollar, because they'll sit in the dollar and they can lose 10% of their purchasing power in a year. We lost 10% in 6 months in this year, right? So people de-risking into gold, taking profits into gold, I think is an interesting narrative here. But I really don't see why that same effect won't hold true for Bitcoin on a 6-month horizon as well. So
yeah, I think that the narrative is there to see like flipping back from gold to Bitcoin too for speculative traders.
I mean, Bitcoin is undeniably a better asset than gold. It is. Undeniably.
I think there's worlds out there where it's not.
All right, explain it.
I think there's a lot of risk with Bitcoin. I think there's risk that exists outside of just the technology. And I think the technology itself is risky.
I think that if why would you want to hold these things? In reality, yeah, price appreciation is good, but also in times of crisis, right? So in times of crisis, what are you going to do? You're going to be like, "Hey, I'm going to go to my Chase Bank. Hey guys, could you print off on your printer my gold shares? Cuz I'm taking a flight out of the country."
Digital gold. Gold.
Oh, you're holding $50,000 of gold in your duffel bag? Good luck getting through TSA, bud. I'm sure they're going to let you
challenge.
I'm sure they'll let you fly out with that. Bitcoin, you can have that fucking seed phrase in your mind.
If you think I can remember 12 random words, you're an idiot.
The AI will be able to plug that right into your mind, no problem.
But if you want to get really dark, you're like, okay, what kind of level crisis are you talking about? Because if you're talking about a big crisis, Bitcoin, on a digital ledger, people don't have internet or something. That's not great either. So going down too far down the rabbit hole, none of it makes sense. But yeah, I think Bitcoin is long term just as attractive as gold. It's just going to be more volatile because it's newer. Once again, I go back to there's nobody that owns gold right now at an average cost of $10.
How do you
But
know?
there are people that own Bitcoin at an average cost of $1,000.
I bet you someone's great uncle has a couple gold bars that they bought for $10.
If FDR didn't steal it from them in the 1930s.
Yeah, true. FDR, that bitch.
Got to watch out for those commies.
U.S. government has a lot of gold that probably costs less than $10.
Allegedly.
They just took it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I believe personally that Bitcoin is a better asset than gold, but I'm not saying it everyone should just take that as fact. Is kind of what I'm saying. I'm playing a little devil's advocate there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm just saying that the idea that Bitcoin and the whole narrative is that Bitcoin's digital gold, right? And I think that narrative is fine on the long term. I just think that we as humans in the social media era, we over-index short-term things and under-index long-term things. So I think on a long-term horizon, it'll all be good.
Here's the gold Bitcoin chart. Basically, let's look at it. Let's zoom it out a little bit. Let's look at the weekly on the gold Bitcoin. See how much of a blip in the radar this actually is. I mean, since 2020, late 2022, Bitcoin has been outperforming gold constantly. We made our first higher low this August.
It's a state of utter panic.
Right. This is the first higher low that gold has made in the gold Bitcoin.
Why don't we see what's happening on the monthly? Oh, that's weird. That's a weird ass monthly MACD. Ain't never seen anything like that before.
Oh man, what is that? Is it just we just don't have enough data?
It just means that Bitcoin has been massively outperforming anything that can be technically indicated. Yeah, wow.
I didn't look at the MACD on the weekly. Yeah, I mean, so gold could be peaking. We could see another couple weeks, and then tailing off. I think it's gonna line up at the end of October. I'm gonna be very interested to see what happens in 2 weeks.
Well,
2 Fridays now, October 31st, Halloween on a Friday. We're gonna have the deadline approaching on a weekend for the China tariffs. We're gonna have the 29th. That Wednesday will be the FOMC rate cut meeting,
and we have APAC, Korea.
APAC Korea.
Fun fact about Koreans, they fucking love fried chicken, dude.
I don't think I've ever had Korean fried chicken. I think I need to try it.
They fucking love it, dude.
Yeah, but I think it's just patience. Patience. If you're skilled and you want to try to take shorts, All power to you, but I just never have been able to successfully short. So I'm looking at my bags, cutting what I don't like, holding spot, doing stablecoin yield, trying to find new emerging narratives.
Trying to short anything on a long-term horizon is dumb. Trying to short anything on a medium time frame is risky, and short time frames, I think it can work out. I'm already looking at my shorts and being like, hey, that profit looks pretty good right now. How much more can I squeeze out of this thing? You know what I mean? Like you gotta cut the short eventually. I'm just never someone that's going to go for like a hero level short. Like, oh, I shorted Bitcoin at 115 and I'm going to ride that down to 70. Like, nah, that thing taps 100K. I'm probably closing ETH and Pengu shorts and taking my money and being happy with it. The things that just concern me is that ETH is into its first week of a bearish MACD cross. Pengu's in its second week of a bearish MACD cross. So I definitely agree with your timeline of about 2 weeks from now. So like 31st of October. I wouldn't be surprised if we're already in a bottoming pattern at that point. And looking to swing back.
Clemente posted a video I'm just seeing for the first time. Just watch people melting down gold expensive watches right now. That's
gotta be
scrapping
a
AP,
signal, right?
people. That's how high gold became. We're literally scrapping APs and making more money scrapping it than selling it.
Gold went up. I know.
Gold is so crazy.
Look at the price. They say it's gonna be $6,000.
It's going to.
Who's they?
Why not?
It has to. Bitcoin's at 120, 130. Gold is to be 20,000 an ounce.
In gold we trust.
In gold we trust.
in gold.
Oh man, if those guys are gold bulls, I feel so good in Bitcoin. I feel so good. Dude, I love he just says they. They're saying gold go to 6,000. Who the fuck's
I
they,
love those
dude?
guys, by the way. That dude's Moses the jeweler. He's like a pretty big like social media guy. He like flips watches. The content is grade A content. It's fucking awesome.
Can we go back to that video real quick? And the guy he's talking to, can we just get a look at his face real quick? That dude got some mega veneers.
Why not?
Right?
It has to.
Which one?
Bitcoin's at 120,
Other guy.
130.
The other guy.
Right here.
Gold is to be 20,000 an ounce.
In gold we trust.
Right here. Look at those. That's a set right there, dude. That guy's got a good fucking dentist, man. Look at those. Those are fucking big, dude. That dude could bite your finger off in a fight. One chop. Yeah, I mean, he's obviously making money on gold. Those aren't cheap. That's a 20K set right there.
Got to go over to go to Turkey and get those. Talking about things that are on the risk curve, I have something that I'm watching today. We have the next NFT strategy releasing at noon today. You see this one, Kicks?
What?
Next NFT strategy is dropping today at noon after a bit of a pause.
Oh, very nice. Do we know which one, or is it a surprise?
It is a surprise. These are down bad. Have you looked at these prices lately?
I have not.
64 mil for Punk Strategy right now. Local lows continuing to go down.
Yeah.
Some of these other ones are below 1 mil for the first time. GOP Strategy, Toad Strategy. So seeing the bubble burst on these as well, I think it makes sense with you're looking at leveraged assets on other leveraged assets, essentially. I'm interested to see what happens today with them, how they're navigating this next bit of roadmap, essentially.
Why don't you draw some Fibonacci's on that shit, dude?
I don't even know if they'd come out. All right, I'll take a look. Here it is, 12 p.m. Eastern today. I'm actually trying to.
Here's the thing. Whenever you're in alts, you got to pick a good time to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And probably generally when something's gone from 6 million to 300, so a 50x in 2 weeks, and people are saying it's gonna go to 3 billion, probably not the worst time to sell some of that shit. But But yeah, you got a little fib going here. So what? Bouncing off the 786.
It dipped below the 786, bounced off it a little bit, depending on where you want to draw it. If you
I've
draw it-
never made money off of Fibonacci's. Way net loser. I'll take my Bollinger Band and MACD curls all day.
I've never made off of like a long-term established coin. Like when trading meme coins, like post-graduation, we were like crushing post-graduation meme coins, bouncing off fibs. Not so much lately, but that was like the only time where I've really had a lot of success. I think it's just interesting to just frame a chart this way and see like what levels are lining up at least.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, even nature's Fibonacci's, right? Why can't altcoins? But hey, dude, they got 36 fucking punks in there, dude. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
The MNAV is going to get close to MicroStrategy at some point.
little MNAV compression here. I mean, you know, I'm on any alt buy I've made in the past 2 weeks, I'm down on. So definitely not like, I don't have a strong appetite to knife catch any of these things. I'm definitely still up a 10x from when I originally bought, and it's still up a 30x from when you originally bought. So I mean, it's that kind of puts it into perspective how much this thing appreciated. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But once the majors start turning around, it'll be something you want to keep an eye on.
Definitely. Let's see here. I am going to do this Yeet spin away. I'm just making sure I got everybody who commented in the spaces. So looks like we have it. We're going to do 2 giveaways. We're going to give away some money in this time of crisis. Give you a little bit of cash, courtesy of Yeet. We're going to do 2 $250 spins here. Let me know when you are ready to spin this, Kicks. Count me down.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spin that shit. Like we're playing a little roulette. I got 32, 34, 17, and 8.
B Dusty.
Oh, Trader Fermi, man.
Another B Dusty win.
B Dusty has won so many times on this. It is absolutely absurd.
He probably
B Dusty
owns wheelofnames.com. He probably bought it from the person that owns this site and just rigged
I've got T9 user asking, where is my name? Did you drop it in the chat there? T9 user.
Discourse 7312 is apparently B Dusty, dude. B Dusty. That sounds like a rapper name.
Yeah, I'm trying to find somebody who said they didn't drop their username. So I just want to.
Bro, where's my username? Where's my free money, bitch?
Yeah, I'm like. Give me the username, T9. I'm going to give you another couple seconds here.
El Dorado. How many alts this guy got?
I know an El Dorado. Okay, we've added you. We're spinning.
Wait. Is this a second spin though? B Dusty still gets his money, right?
Yeah. Let me remove him. You should have gotten removed from that.
Congrats, B Dusty.
Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna put a little on lows. Put a little on red. Come on.
Oh my God, is he gonna hit it? Is Dorado gonna hit it?
After getting on red right there. That's a 3-1.
What a win! All right, yeah, you have to comment your username in here to be eligible. We talked about that at the beginning of the show. Sorry if you did not get them in time. I apologize if I missed it. We'll be running these every week, also on the Easy Show, so you'll have another chance to win. Congrats, B Dusty and El Dorado, big time.
El Dorado said, "Yo, I'm not on that list, dude. Get me on that list." That's similar to the level of luck I had. I went to the casinos a year ago, and I was at the craps table, and they switched out dealers, and I had $1 chips, pennies, whatever, and everybody else at the table had nickels. And when the dealer switched, they thought my pennies were nickels, and so my stack 5x'd in. My buddy comes over, he's like, "Get off the table now, cash out." I'm like, "No, that looks sketchy." So I played 2 more hands and then turned 1s into 5s.
Yep. Commenter here.
Whatever, easy.
If you listen to the show, we this morning when we announced the giveaway, you had to comment your username on the stream to be eligible. Sorry in advance.
Trader Fermi, you almost had it, dude.
Very, very close. Shout out to Yeet. We are very, very psyched to be continuing to working with them. Can't wait for the next tournament. We're gonna see who they seed us up against over there. Anything else you guys want to talk about today? We've got Trump bragging about the money they made in crypto. I mean, Eric Trump, that is. We've got some strategic Bitcoin reserves coming to Florida. I don't know if Easy's the one running that over there. We've got
Florida's
Ripple.
good, man. A lot of Mondami people, getting away from Mondami, going to Florida with their money.
Did you watch that mayoral debate last night?
I did not, dude. No interest.
Man, I'll tell you something. New York's fucked. No matter who wins.
That's the
All
best
three,
three they
dude.
could come up with, man. That's pretty tough.
You had Mamdani being like, let's tax the rich and give out a bunch of stuff with the taxes. Oh, by the way, Andrew Cuomo's a sexual predator. Then you had Cuomo be like, those were thrown out in court. You're stealing from the poor. Shut the fuck up. Basically talking over each other. And then all of a sudden, Curtis Sliwa comes in and he's like, well, both of you guys, I got shot in the back of a cab in 1972, and this is why I love Uber. I was like, dude, it was the they were like, so what are your thoughts on affordable housing? And those two guys are going back and forth, and Curtis Sliwa, like, man, I'll tell you what, taking a bullet sucks. I'm like, what? Who is this guy?
He's trying to get that
Like, what
street
is going
cred,
on
dude.
right
He's trying to get that street cred vote, huh?
It was. I was like, dude, I love this guy, but I want to buy more shares of him dropping out because the only thing he wanted to emphasize was how he's been shot.
The funny thing is his hat. If you didn't know any of those three people, someone just showed you pictures and you're like, who's the communist? You'd think the guy with the weird red hat would be, but in fact,
Yeah, the
he's
beret.
not.
He'd just be rocking the beret.
Yeah, little military junta.
Yeah, it's something. I don't know. I feel for New York though. I feel for New York.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Never regretted leaving that place. Beautiful place, beautiful place. But if you've ever tried to operate as a business person out of there, dude, they just make up ways to fine you, tax you, whatever. I swear they have a division over there, and they're just like, spin the wheel. All right, that guy. Let's ding him for 1,000. But yeah, best of luck to New York City. This too shall pass.
I'm trying to figure out what price will Bitcoin hit in 2025 because I saw a funny post saying that there's more likely chance that the U.S. will confirm aliens will exist than Bitcoin will hit 200K this year.
Not 200K. What's the price on 135K?
135K.
On the poly market.
All right, let's go. All right, here's Bitcoin. What will Bitcoin hit this year? 130K is 40%. 140K is 25%.
Take the 40% on 130K.
On the yes.
Yeah.
And this resolves if one Binance candle hits it.
Yeah.
What's wild is like you can almost hedge these things out. You can just take the no and buy spot.
Well, I would take the yes and then take the no on 90K also. Get a little iron condor action.
Oh, daddy likey.
Yeah, so I would take the no at 58 cents there and the yes at 130. The only way you lose is if we range where we are for the next 60 days.
Wait, no. That's the only way you win. Or no, sorry.
No. Oh, no, you'd actually cover both sides. Yeah, so I would take no. No on that and yes on over 130. I like that. I don't think we go under 90, and I think we'll touch 130.
So basically, this would be a nice parlay. You parlay these together, you get a little better odds, right? Can you do that, Kicks? Is this one of those markets where that's
on PredictShark.io, the only place where you can leverage parlays on prediction markets, automated entries, and maximum volatility. Get fucked.
Yeah, you can parlay it. Your odds would just get nerfed a little bit since it's a correlated asset. But it would still be.
How was my ad read?
Wait, I thought the correlation was the reason we're doing PredictShark is to take advantage of correlation.
No, I'm saying you can get that and you'll get a bid back. I'm just saying that like since they're correlated assets, since you could, those both can resolve together. I
see.
Like if your odds were plus 400 and maybe plus 350. I don't even know why I'm saying it. It's just semantics. Yes, you can parlay those. I'm getting a little nerdy in my head because we've just been talking about this with our team all week. So, yes, you can parlay those at predictshark.io.
The only place where you can leverage multiple prediction markets in one location. Amplify your odds and fuck the haters. Predictshark.io.
You can't make me laugh like that, dude.
Hopefully you guys had some fun today. That's going to do it for today's show. Keep your heads up. Stay patient. That's the main thesis here. We do this podcast Monday through Friday.
We got a Trump mention market today. What will he say with Zelensky events? Ukrainian 10 plus times no. Trillion, million, billion, 8+ times yes. Please, 8+ times no. And the word of mineral, no. But that'll do it today. Enjoy your day. We'll see you Monday. Peace.
Peace.
Later.